Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening to everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Lewis Sports Network here on this live stream. Welcome back to another heavy hitter with another banger with yet another video. Again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure your notifications are turned on, and again, make sure you guys are sharing this on your social media Reddits. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday evening, I should say. It is June 29th. We are just 2 days away from it being July. So hope everybody is doing great. Let me know who is in the chat. Hope you guys can hear me. And again, share this on your social media outlets. I truly appreciate that. And again, let me know who is in the building so that we could get started on this. Also, let me know, have you gotten a chance to see the documentary that pretty much was put up last night? 6'2", 200. Appreciate him as always coming in through. He's saying Kobe gets so disrespected. Dude had to die for this. Respect and still get slighted. I mean, you got to understand it's the media, bro. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. It's going to happen regardless. The title of this video has actually a connection with him. And again, appreciate everybody who is, taking the opportunity to be able to come through. So hopefully we can get some people into the chat room. Something tells me that the notifications are going to probably come really late when it comes to this. I don't know what's going on, so there's probably going to be a little bit of delay. Just going to wait and be a little bit patient. But again, hopefully everybody has, the opportunity to take the time and come through. So like I said, hope everybody's day is going really well. And we're going to talk about the decision. Last night, they showed the documentary on the decision, featuring LeBron James and his decision to leave Cleveland to go to Miami. I wanted to get my thoughts on it because I know that there were things that I already knew from the decision. But against the decision last night, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I did not actually know about. And I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that on this live stream. So again, smash the like, hit that subscribe, share on your social media, and truly appreciate it, guys. So as I come in, basically, here's my thought process on this whole thing. So basically, for those who don't know, LeBron James played his first 7 years with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and what happened was that he decided to do a 1-hour special on the decision, and it was hosted with him and Jim Gray, who was the one who interviewed him and asked him a bunch of questions before LeBron decided to make his decision, and that he decided to go all the way down to South Beach and play with the Miami Heat. He was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers as the #1 overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft. He got drafted to the Cavaliers, so he got drafted to a franchise that had only won 17 games the previous season, and he was pretty much brought there to pretty much turn that franchise around the minute he got there because he was such a big high school prospect. He was being labeled as, the chosen one. He got all these, big type of nicknames, right before he came in, and he was getting a lot of hype. Now, fortunately for LeBron, he was able to live up to the hype and was able to pretty much establish a pretty good 7 years in Cleveland. He was able to lead Cleveland to the NBA Finals. He got them deep playoff runs from the minute that he went to the playoffs in his third season, all the way up until 2010. He made 5 straight playoff appearances after missing the playoffs the first 2 seasons. But he did an exceptional job at putting Cleveland, reestablishing themselves back on the map, as a team to be reckoned with for years to come, being a consistent playoff, team. But obviously we already know about what happened in, some of the losses that he's had. So in the decision, they're basically talking about what actually went into this entire process for him deciding to leave Cleveland and go to South Beach and join D Wade and Chris Bosh with the Miami Heat, because Chris Bosh, officially had signed and said that he was going to go join Dwayne Wade in Miami. So what the decision basically talks about is, the details that went into that. Um, it went into LeBron and Wade possibly teaming up. So from what I'm hearing, his decision to go to South Beach was actually influenced by a fan. And they were talking about Bill Simmons last night when I was looking at the documentary, saying that they should have made a 1 hour show about it, about the choice to make, about him going down there. And what they were saying was, so the person who was doing the interviews and interviewed all these people, like during the decision, while we saw that documentary, they were basically talking about how they thought it would be good if LeBron and his PR team with Maverick Carter, the people he grew up with, um, his PR team thought it would be a good decision to do that, to have a 1 hour special to announce his decision. The funny thing about that is they were originally going to try to get Stuart Scott to do it, but the thing is he kind of had a relationship with Jordan, so they decided to not touch him. They decided to not touch him on that. And shout out to Ryan for coming through. 6'2" 200 says, what top 50 player won with Wade, Bosh, Allen, Kyrie, and Love? Like those are handout rings, just like KD's. The decision. Dude's so overrated, man. Who joins two other franchise players? Brontosaurus, Tomoko, the Dark Side, Full Flight. I think the whole scandal of Delonte was an out for LeBron to leave. It's funny that they really didn't talk about that. They didn't go into that. They kind of left that part out during that documentary. They really didn't talk about Delonte at all. And I had a funny feeling that they were going to leave that part out. The funny thing is, Jim Gray originally, he does not work for the network. He did previously work for them. You know, I believe he worked with them, I believe, for like about 3 years. I could be wrong about that, but he decided to work with them for like about 3 years. I believe. I believe he was gone by probably 2006. I could be wrong about that. I may have to look up Jim Gray and see how long he worked for them. But getting back to it, what I didn't like about the decision was they were trying to make it seem like if Bron was not the reason that he decided to go to South Beach, and I'm not okay with that. And what I'm noticing is that the decision showed me that LeBron was a shrewd operator, and I'm like, just own up to it already, LeBron. Like, just own up to that you wanted to go there. It was like you and Wade had planned to go there. I mean, look, Dwayne Wade came out and said that there were rumors that him and Bron were possibly going to go to Chicago to play with Derrick Rose. So I'm like, it doesn't matter if Bron goes to New York. It doesn't matter if Bron goes to Chicago. The point is, it was quite possibly he was going to play with his friend Dwayne Wade. Now, could you imagine if Derrick Rose had gotten to play with LeBron James and with Dwayne Wade, both of them in their prime? I mean, who knows if it was made? Who knows if it was made up? Who knows if it was true? You never heard LeBron's mom talk about it, Gloria James, and I don't mean to get personal like that, but it's strange that they because the whole thing they're talking about the whole sedated stuff. I'm kind of wondering if that was kind of made up, and they never really touched up on that when he lost. They just said that he lost to the Boston Celtics, and they never really got into detail as to the whole sedating thing. And then they talked about the letter with Dan Gilbert as to he accusing LeBron of quitting pretty much on the Cavaliers and the organization. When he came out with that with the letter. Again, smash the like and hit that subscribe for the Lewis Sports Network. Talking the decision. The issue that I'm having is that they also said that they felt like his decision to leave was by a fan, and it was the person who wrote the book. And if you look at the name of the book that they put on there, it said, what was it? I think it was called The Horror of LeBron James, and it said you could find the soul and success. You could look into the soul of success, and I forgot what the name of the other book was. But it was pretty weird. It was really pretty weird. Now, when you also look at the decision, what I found really funny too was, y'all remember when Kobe Bryant was going into the NBA and he was 17 years old and he decided to say that he he said he told the media that he decided to take his talents to the NBA. And it's funny that LeBron used those same lines and used it to say the same thing in terms of talking about that he was going to take his talents all the way to South Beach. I didn't pay attention to that at first, but then it was like when I watched the documentary again, I said to myself, that's weird. It's weird because he was like Kobe's like I'm gonna take my talents to there's a long pause, and if you notice when LeBron made his decision, he's like, yeah, this is very tough, and then he thought about it for a second, and then he said, and you could tell in the entire interview that LeBron was really uncomfortable. And again, shout out to Ryan. He also says he thought it was made up, and he says, Lewis, did D Wade know beforehand? Because in the interview with KG, he said he was strongly going to Chicago with his guy hit him up saying that LeBron was going to go to Miami. Yeah, but I also know that LeBron was considering Chicago as an option. He also was considering New York because there was a report that came out today saying that LeBron was originally going to go to the Knicks, but they couldn't get the players, the players to come with him. And remember, who's the owner of the team? James Dolan. And if you also remember, the roster was pretty much gutted out to get Carmelo Anthony. But then let me ask y'all, let's say LeBron did go to New York. How do you think it would have worked out with Carmelo Anthony? Let's say that LeBron and Melo come and then LeBron plays with Chauncey Billups. Like, how do you think that plays out? Definitely let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think? Those. And then Ryan says that he noticed that. Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. So, that's why I said that I just found it a little bit strange that, that happened. Um, but imagine if he was able to play with Melo. Do you think that their games would have worked? I say no, just because of how both of their styles are. Again, smash the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure to share on your social media. So yeah, what I started to realize also is that they were showing clips of Bron and he was wearing he's wearing a couple of Kobe jerseys, and this is him like while he was growing up. Um, before he's going to St. Mary's and he's playing AAU basketball. And I said to myself, if he uses that decision, you know, he decides to, use part of Kobe's line when he decided to go to the NBA. But then if you look at him now, he's been saying that he idolizes Michael Jordan. It made me think that this decision to me was kind of trying to make it seem like if this wasn't LeBron's fault that he decided to go to Miami. And I said, you don't need to because they even I forgot what person was the person who was asking the person, I forgot his name, I think it was Kenny something, but he asked him, he said, did the network use LeBron or did LeBron use the network? And he said it was both. I said, so it was mutual. What I also didn't understand was when I saw the kids there, because they had to donate charity to use the Boys and Girls Club. They had to donate, what was it, $3 million for him to get that 1 hour interview. And they said they had to make it an hour and that's why Jim Gray was asking like all those questions, which is really weird. Oh no, I had said so 6 foot 200. I had said, do you think that Melo and Bron would have worked out if Bron considered the Knicks, because they said that he really considered going to New York. They just couldn't get the players. But I said that their roster was pretty much gutted when they traded all of those players. When Donnie Walsh had to trade all those pieces, to get Carmelo Anthony, and Chauncey Billups had to be part of the deal if they wanted to get Melo. So what I said was Melo kind of low key ruined that free agency because he decided to force his way out of Denver to go to New York. And I know that getting LeBron James would have been a lot of hype, had he came, to New York. I think if LeBron went to NYK, then I would say the Banana Boat team would have assembled. That's what I think. Wade, LBJ, CP3, Melo. You could have had a fabulous foursome. And trust me, that would have never been done for before. You get 4 free agents to come to the Knicks. You're asking yourself, how can they not win the championship? Forget even getting to the finals. How can they not win the championship? Ryan says, but I think that the league didn't want that, so he kind of finessed himself and said he was going to go play with either one of his buddies. I said David Stern might have had a small part in it. It was the same reason that Chris Paul didn't go to the Lakers. And that itself was a crazy, situation. Right. So yeah, I realized that LeBron has kind of tried to, and then if you look at LeBron's 2011 season when he first went to South Beach and he kind of made all these promises and he kind of made a party of how many championships he was going to win, because he got so much hate from not just Cleveland, but a lot of people around the world. I realized that LeBron tried to become Kobe Bryant for just one season. And what I mean by that is accept the villain role. I don't mean in terms of their games. I don't mean in terms of their styles of play. I just meant that LeBron tried to be the villain and he tried to embrace that role for 1 year. And shout out to Karam in the building. And I realized that he quickly realized that he was not meant to be the villain. So I said that now when you look at LeBron, he's criticized MJ in the media, but he's also wanted that love. And that just tells me that LeBron to me is still lusting for, because LeBron says himself that he doesn't care what people think, and he has said it on his show Uninterrupted, More Than an Athlete on HBO. The problem that I have with it is, to me, he still craves attention. If you look at the way Braun operates, he's still craving attention, even though he'll say that he doesn't crave it. And you could just tell. And the people in the documentary were saying that the networks and LeBron control the narrative. They were saying that the entire thing. And I said, this is not a surprise. Shout out. No, 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 no. You have to understand what I'm saying. I said that LeBron tried to be. He tried to be what Kobe had been. He tried to be what Kobe has been for 1 year when he was with the Heat. I never said that he was completely the villain for one season, and he realized he couldn't be that. He couldn't be the villain. He tried to accept that role, but he realized he couldn't be that. LeBron's reason for not playing with Melo because money was a big thing for Melo, and he had a big pride. Yeah, Melo said he was naive. Oh no, no, no. Ultimately, it was Kevin Durant. Ultimately, it was KD. But I'm just talking about the 2011 season. Shout out to Black Tiger in the building. Appreciate you. He says Hennessy Smith is back with his. Yep, JR is back. I am going to be doing a Lakers Clippers stream probably tomorrow. I'll probably talk about the expectations for both teams. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get the view count up. Let's get the likes up. So yeah, that's why I said that I think that personally, I think that LeBron, he was not comfortable. He was not comfortable in his role, so he decided to go back to, fun-loving LeBron. But I realized that this situation just told me that this was all about narrative control. And what's crazy is that the people that were the audience for the 1 hour decision special, they were kind of used as pawns. And they were pretty much pawn pieces. So they were just pretty much puppets, for that 1 hour special. And if you notice Jim Gray, they said he asked LeBron 23 questions, pretty much stupid, idiotic questions, but he just kind of said that to just kind of, kill the time. They thought it would be good to make a decision for marketing and for brand reasons, but realized they got backfired by the way the Cleveland fans treated LeBron, when it happened. And when it happened, guess what? LeBron received a lot of backlash. He was pretty much the most hated NBA player, when he left Cleveland. But this is also my problem with this whole decision thing that the network decided to display. To me, this was another PR marketing move for LeBron to play the victim. And you know why? Because remember The Last Dance. And Shannon Sharpe was talking all about this all morning. He talked about the most views that it got because of the type of athlete that LeBron is. And look, I'll never take anything away from him. Anytime you're looking at LeBron, people are going to watch. I mean, he's that guy. And he's that guy, along with the fact that, again, if you look at the NBA, cash cow, the networks, he drives them because he's the most talked about. Ryan said Wade even said Jordan could be the villain. KD villain, Kobe villain, LeBron not, and myself not. He says he's a weak as a leader, and that's why he runs to another man's house to be mentored. He will always need validation. And to me, I know that LeBron has won 3 NBA championships. He's won 3 Finals MVPs. He's a 4-time regular season MVP. But it always kind of feels like he needs validation when you look at his career because on one side they'll say his legacy is set, and then another side will say, well, he hasn't really, he's still chasing the ghost of Jordan. And I think that the problem is that I still think that LeBron, for me, he's getting involved into like a lot of these projects. Like right now, they said that he's doing a documentary on Tulsa in Oklahoma, your place, Karan, in Oklahoma, about what happened with 1921. And Ryan says, example, when he was asked, what's your thoughts in facing Golden State? He says he doesn't want to think about that juggernaut. I remember it seemed like the decision was a 60-minute special. 60 minutes on CBS kind of felt that way. Oh, no, yeah, he did. Yeah, everybody knows this. Nothing new. Tell me why he says he's the GOAT but needs validation. It has to do with social. It has to do with social. It has to do something with social justice. It has to do with black race. Well, that's what I said Tulsa. So 1921. So it says that he's supposed to start a new documentary. Let me just look it up real quick. No, let me see. Let me just type his name because even when I say LBJ, it kind of like mixes it up. Nope. So it says here on the 27th that the show was a train wreck and that the documentary to explore his decision, it was a train wreck. And it says that he has very few stains on his sparkling resume. The decision, which took place almost 10 years ago, remains, a big blemish. Let me just see if I can get to this story. Don't know why that disappeared. Anyway, He got criticized. Jim Gray got criticized. Damn, why does it keep skipping? Here we go. Oh my goodness. What in the heck? Can these pop-ups stop coming up? Jesus. You see? See, so now they're saying that it wasn't Maverick Carter's idea, it wasn't LeBron's idea, it wasn't it wasn't Blank's idea, it wasn't Bill Simmons' idea, but they mentioned that it was his idea. So I don't understand that part. Hold on a second. Let me get to the comment section real quick. I'm just trying to look for this. Um, he says LeVar Ball is the GOAT. Okay. Ryan says, imagine if he did went to Chicago. Shout out to Jay Jefferson in the building. Appreciate it. If he did went to Chicago, D Rose wouldn't be the player he is today. He would gas himself up so much more than he does now. Why all this movement just to be seen as the best, man, but not be the best of all time? And again, if he would have won the chip with Chicago, those would kiss his feet and praise him like he. Shout out to Jay, which is a good point. That is a good point. He says, "What is up with everybody in the chat?" Oh wow. So it says it says I reached my article limit. That's funny. Let me see if I can here we go. Let's see if I could get, oh my gosh, I still can't get rid of this. Let me see if I could go back. Sorry about this, guys. Shout out to Jay in the building. He says the other Jay, LeBron didn't just lose just one, two, three, four. I mean, hey, the media would go nuts. Chris Bouchard he would be like he's better than Jordan and one in his building. I mean, because the thing that I don't understand is that why did they decide to come out with this documentary? And it's simple. We know what the Last Dance did, so LeBron had to make sure. And don't notice that he remember what he said during the Last Dance when it was playing. He said he wondered. He tweeted he wonders if she should have came out with a documentary right now. And fitting that Jordan's documentary ended, he waited all the way until the end, of June, for the network to decide to play it, and they did play it. Um, Ryan says that the media, yeah, they will go nuts. Jay says that 2011 LeBron is why D Wade doesn't have at least 4 championships. So the problem that I have is that LeBron, you need to let this stuff go, man. It's like the decision, for some reason, it's funny to me that he's trying to play the victim and trying to get the narrative of the media, which tells you that this is a mutual partnership between the networks and him. And I'm saying to myself, let's like just own up to it, man. It's like it's done already. Like it happened. Like you you went to four straight NBA finals with Miami. You guys were picked as the favorite to win. You were picked to win, um, in your first year. Obviously, they didn't get it done. Jay says 2011 LeBron is why D Wade doesn't have at least 4 rings. Let's see. Dwayne got a championship in '06. They did go back to back. LeBron would have been part of a three-peat. And the thing is, the media would have had, again, no choice but to bow down, and LeBron wins 3 rings, even if it was linked with Dwayne Wade. But they also would have probably said his success is related to Dwayne Wade. Huh. Jay says it's fitting what the pick represents. The GOAT doesn't run team to team. Now, once again, let me get back to this, and I have to put this out. So I got to put this up right here with Kobe. LeBron was trying to be like Kobe through the early part when I noticed when coming up in high school, and then on top of that, then he decided to say the same words when he made his decision to go down to Miami. The GOAT doesn't run from team to team. Jay says that's like Jordan leaving the Bulls to join the Pistons or the Knicks. Jay, and he says LeBron's hairline goes backwards, not 1 inch, not 2 inch, not 3 inch, not 4 inch, not 5 inch. Wow. And shout out to Gideon. What's going on? So getting back on the decision, this was LeBron's attempt to try to get people to kind of come on his side. And if you notice, he's already signed Anthony Edwards to Clutch Sports. He's already gotten Trae Young to Clutch Sports. Um, remember what Trae Young had said when the Last Dance documentary was coming? He thought LeBron was the greatest. And then after watching Jordan, he says, I might have to change my mind and realize that Jordan is the greatest. So LeBron is doing all these things, being actively involved in social injustice, through Twitter. He's being involved, trying to look out for these younger players in the younger generation. He's trying to do all this. Raduni says, why people only LeBron James got rest and he's going to be the monster in the playoffs, but forget that Kawhi got all the low management. He needs to be ready. I mean, we're going to see what happens. From what I heard, Lou Williams might not come back. He might not come back from what I hear. Haha, not 192 is my is my joke, damn it. Jay Funny. He says not only did he win, but he didn't. He did. Remember, again, appreciate everybody that's coming through right now. Again, smash the like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure those notifications are turned on, and again, make sure you guys are sharing it on your Reddit. Appreciate that. So yeah, I don't like the fact that this to me is a whole victimization, as to say that he had no part in the decision to decide to leave. And it's like they mentioned in the video that he enjoyed playing with Wade so much in the Olympics that they thought it would be a cool idea to leave together. That's why they only signed 3-year contracts in 2006 so that they could be free agents in 2010. People forget that. People forget that. Says what's up? People think that Kawhi played a weaker East than Bron. Magic, Sixers, and Bucks were good and worthy teams. Yeah, that is going to be a big blow if he doesn't come back. That's a big blow. If you want to be honest, Jordan contributes more off the court than he does on. Has ever done. He just doesn't advertise it. But remember, Jay, when it goes back to the when it goes when it goes back to the social issues, when it comes back to social issues, they're gonna say that he really doesn't get involved like that, even though he's behind the scenes, and everybody's already gonna form their opinions. But we saw what happened in the documentary, so no matter what, that's gonna be that's gonna be the notion. That's gonna be the notion. That's the way that is seen. That's the way that it's gonna be looked at. Was good, and was good. Ryan, all good. He says, yeah, that's true. I mean, if he doesn't come, I can't trust RJ on the bench. I can't. That's true. Reggie Jackson's going to have a more prominent role if Lou Will doesn't play, so they're going to need him. Because remember, the Clippers have the best scoring bench in the NBA. Let me just go back because I was reading something. So it says it right here. Explains the history of James. Let me just try to see if I can read it. See, this one is locked. Let me see if I can try to find another article because they were saying some really important stuff on here. Let me see if I can go back. I'm gonna try to see if I can see it. Hold on a second, guys. Gonna look this up again. Let's see. Okay, let's see if this is. Okay, so it says, so there's an article from 2010 on July 9th. It says Jim Gray's idea, publicity disaster. So they said that originally it was his. So you see, it says it was the idea of journalist Jim Gray who approached the LeBron's agent Maverick Carter during the NBA Finals with the idea. According to Gray, Maverick took an interest in Gray's idea because he saw it as an opportunity to raise money for charity. So they did this for marketing reasons. ESPN donated all the advertising revenue to charity, which Nike matched. It was for the Boys and Girls Club of America. The decision was a public, I can't read that part, says for LeBron, who simply should have chosen a more suitable method to form his decision. So people thought he just should have made one of those decisions where he says it behind closed doors and then you hear reports and then he finally decides to make his decision. That didn't happen. So it says conventional public relations would dictate that he had first informed Cleveland out of respect and gratitude for the opportunity that the team has given him despite any shortcomings. And remember, they said that Rich Paul was the one that spoke to Dan Gilbert. LeBron had no direct contact with Dan, which just shows you pretty much their relationship. There was even no relationship to talk. And I believe it was LeBron's PR team that also spoke to Dan about his return. They had nothing about, basically with him. So there was really no communication. Um, his next move would have been to simply issue a press release to Cleveland's media stating that he wishes to thank them for the years of support. And this was all being said during the decision. He would have liked to have brought a championship to the city for them and his decision. When I hear stuff like this, it almost makes it seem like if he really never cared about Cleveland. No, I know LeBron, he says he wants to stay relevant. What is the bigger blow, no Bradley or no Lou Williams? It's really both because defensively it's going to hurt for the Lakers in terms of the guard, even though they signed J.R. Smith. I don't know how good defensively he's going to be, but Lou Williams is going to hurt more because now Reggie Jackson is going to have a more bigger role, and I don't trust Reggie Jackson. And Montrezl Harrell actually plays well with Lou Williams in their pick and roll, so that's going to hurt. Lou Williams to me is a bigger blow than Avery Bradley for me. If Lou Williams doesn't play, the Lakers are winning the NBA title. It's true. Even though Lou Williams may be inconsistent, I'm still saying it right now that without him, and I'm going to touch up on this on the Lakers Clippers video tomorrow. Yes, he did. But here's the thing. You have to understand something too, though, Karan. Why did LeBron go back knowing the situation that Cleveland was in? Because if you really look at it, once he left, Cleveland's roster completely changed. That's number one. They had some losing years. They end up getting Kyrie Irving in the draft. And then once they get Kyrie Irving, guess what? A couple of years, they get the number one pick in Anthony Edwards. He doesn't turn out great. They get the number one pick in Andrew Wiggins because the Cavaliers were thinking about possibly trading for Kevin Love. That was LeBron's perfect opportunity to go back to Cleveland. And he even told Kyrie in the season, and I've said this on many streams, Kyrie, man, keep doing what you're doing. Who knows? You might see me back there one someday. Kyrie was confused. He thought he was getting the keys to Cleveland, and then LeBron comes and swoops in. And after 4 years in Miami, they kind of lose badly to, to the Spurs. If you look at LeBron's decisions, if you guys notice his decisions from team to team, he's always left after a loss. So in 2010 to Boston, 2014 to San Antonio, and then back-to-back years in 2017 and 2018 when he played out his contract, he ended up losing. So LeBron has actually left. He's left 3 different times after losses. You know, um, Yep. So yeah, and the thing is, if you looked at the decision when LeBron won the championship, what did they show? They obviously showed the block. They were not going to show Kyrie's shot because it wasn't about the Cavaliers. It was about LeBron James. So they were going to show the block shot. So I know if people were going to say that, I would have just been like, listen, man, it is what it is. They're going to show it. Um, no Lou Will, no problem. Morris and Reggie can still give you 30 points off the bench, but the thing is, I don't know if you could really depend on Marcus Morris like that because he's getting a much bigger role now. And Reggie Jackson, it's not that Reggie can't score, but he has to get acclimated with what they're doing. And the thing is, Reggie, he came off the bench when he was in OKC. He's been starting since he's been in Detroit. So I really don't know if this is gonna work out. I'm not really sure. Um, haha. D-Wade blonde hair reminds me of the Halloween Fresh Prince episode when Carlton's hair was colored. I'm crying. Black Tiger says if LeBron loses this year, what do you think is going to be the next excuse? Um, who knows, man? But there's going to be one. There's going to be one, pretty sure. Lou Will doesn't get to play. The Lakers will win it all unless AD gets hurt. G Money says losing will hurt the Clips, but they have some nice pieces. No, they do, but I don't think without Lou Williams they win. He's the key to their second unit. You lose Lou Williams, are you really going to see? Because Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, they'll complement the bench as long as Lou Williams is there. Because remember, the bulk of their points comes from Montrezl Harrell and Lou. You take Lou Will off, I don't know how Montrezl is going to do on the pick and roll. Yeah, he can. 30 to 35 off the bench, easy. Uh, and if he's having a really good night, 40 points. Quran, but LeBron never won a chip for a whole country like Kawhi did. Clippers need Lou Will. Now, listen, I do get that LeBron came back. I know the promise that he did, but remember, if Cleveland is such a bad organization, why did LeBron go back? Because I know he promised Cleveland a championship, but you really have to think, you have to ask yourself, guys, does LeBron go back to Cleveland if Kyrie's there? I feel like a lot of these are just kind of PR moves. And if you look at Cleveland, look how they're dependent of him. Look how they treated him when he left, when he left Cleveland. You know, to my I'm gonna say this again. I don't have a problem with LeBron going to Miami. I did not have a problem with that. It's the fact that he did marketing for a brand to do this, and now the documentary is basically saying this wasn't LeBron's idea to kind of publicize it or whatever. But it's like it's good for your brand. Like I thought the days of LeBron, I mean, I knew he has to be on social media, but after 2012, I actually thought that LeBron was actually going to be more focused. He started to show that. But I don't know, man. This is just a problem that LeBron has that he just lusts for attention. Like it's obsessive with him that he needs attention. I don't know. And I'm gonna come back, I said, with tomorrow's stream on the Lakers and Clippers. Come on, man. Let's get the likes up. Let's get more views up on the decision. Raduni says that don't forget Boston Morris was big for the Celtics in 2018 in the conference finals. He played well. Lou Williams sets the offense, and if you remember the last meeting between LA teams when RJ was on the floor, he he picked him apart when he was guarding him. hmm Clips need Lou Will because he can create his own shot and can penetrate to the rim. Without Sweet Lou Will, Reggie Jackson is not that guy. Losing Sweet Lou is as big or bigger than the Lakers losing Avery Bradley's point guard position defense. It's true. It's true. It's true because now Because imagine without Avery Bradley, Lou Will would have had more opportunities to get to the cup. But because he doesn't have that opportunity now, that's going to hurt. If he doesn't play, that's going to hurt the Clippers a lot. LeBron wasn't going back to Cleveland without Kyrie, bro. Go watch that NBA All-Star game when Kyrie won the MVP. You could see him and LeBron having a conversation afterwards. What decision was worse? It's always going to be KD going to Golden State because of the circumstances. It's always going to be that. It's always going to be KD. What I don't like is that now the decision is kind of being used as it's no different, or I have an excuse as to why it wasn't my really decision to do this special, or I was set on going to the. My thing is man, just own up to it, man. It's like it happened already. Like this decision happened 10 years ago. On July 9th, next month, it's going to be 10 years to the day that LeBron left to go to South Beach. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, just hold up to it, man. It's all good, bro. Like G Money, come on, man. That's an obvious one. KD going to Golden State was the worst. Because the thing is, I understand it from a competition perspective, but I really felt that KD was not going to win elsewhere. It was still going to take him a couple of seasons until he won a championship. So in the meantime, because LeBron already had the mental stranglehold on the 2016 Golden State Warriors and they ran it back again, I felt like LeBron would have owned Steph Curry. And remember, Draymond's in clutch sports. Remember, Draymond is for clutch. Yep. Do you think AD can stand the toughness in the paint since he doesn't like playing the five? Because you know Joakim Noah is going to be physical with him. Marcus Morris is going to be physical with him. Zubac will be physical, but I think Zubac could get himself into foul trouble because he really can't, match up with him. Shout out to Juicy Mang in the building. Appreciate you. Jay says KD went to a team that he lost to, but in reality, the NBA needed that, and I needed that because I didn't want LeBron to have that three-peat. That's what happened. Oh no, KD had the right to go to a team because he was in free agency. But the thing is, Ryan, he didn't just go to any team. He went to the team. I mean, listen, there were rumors that KD was even looking at Golden State, and there were rumors that Golden State was trying to sign Kevin Durant before even they met in the Western Conference Finals. The problem is his Thunder had a 3-1 lead. They lost the last three games, and KD goes and joins after Golden State blew a 3-1 lead of their own to LeBron James, Kyrie, and the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. If KD went to any other team except for the Warriors, I'll be fine with it, of course. But then now, would the league be? Imagine if Draymond goes to the Lakers. That's gonna be if he goes to the Lakers, then it's already going to be well known that he's a Clutch Sports member because he's already in Clutch Sports. But it's like it'll be even more known that he's part of Clutch Sports if he goes. It'll be no question. So yeah, guys, when you look back at this decision, now LeBron's decision has resulted him in winning championships. He's won 2. He went back to Cleveland with Kyrie. They trade for Kevin Love, and he wins another title. That's 3. But my problem is that why is LeBron and the network making it seem like if LeBron is the victim in this situation when again all of this was done as a PR stunt. This was all done as a PR stunt. And they keep saying that now it's like the most unfair criticism. So now here we go. Let me read this real quick. USA Today. So it says LeBron James' legacy is a complicated one, right? The Los Angeles Lakers superstar. Wait, I'm just trying to. What just happened? Did it just skip? Oh my goodness. What is with these ads? Oh Lord. Every time I'm trying to find, every time they do this. Okay. So you did it again. Uh, yeah, it's about to do it again. So it says that, let me see if I could go back again. Okay. No, I'm trying to see, trying to see if I could see it. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I got it here. Hopefully this article will not go messed up now. Yeah, but like I said, I thought they were going to win with Russell Westbrook. They just weren't going to win. The coaching was pretty terrible too. Okay, so now see, and this is my problem. It wasn't his idea for the decision, but it's like you and Wade wanted to play together, so that's why I said it makes no sense. It was supposed to be you, Wade, and Melo. It's like there's articles on this, so I don't know how LeBron is playing the victim when there's multiple articles on him, Wade, trying to play together. There's multiple articles on this. Even with Melo, that they like playing with each other in '06. They talked about signing those shorter deals so that they could become free agents. After coming to the Cavaliers side as the first overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft, he played 7 years for the club. 2010, he was a two-time MVP, 6 All-Star appearances. He also won 2 All-Star Game MVPs, and he was a scoring champ in '08. So in July, he was an unrestricted free agent. He made an appearance on a special television show to make the announcement that he would be signing with Miami. There was an immediate backlash on his decision. Many felt it was betrayal. And it says the show was kind of a train wreck, and it was criticized across the board. Abbott said ESP got criticized, LeBron got criticized, Jim Gray got criticized. LeBron was a villain for several years after it, but when you look back 10 years later, it was really the start of the kind of a revolution that we didn't know what was happening as we watched. You know what's funny? The person Abbott said, that person Abbott, you know what he also said? He also said that this was the start of the first ever player created super team. But the thing is, LeBron fans have continued back and forth and say that Boston was the first super team created, but the players didn't form that team. The Boston players that came together, one, were older, that being NKG and Ray Allen. Pierce, I think, was the only one that was 30 years old. But number two, Danny Ainge was the one that orchestrated the moves. Danny Ainge and his former Celtic buddy, Kevin McHale, were the ones who pulled off the move for Kevin Garnett to come to Boston when originally KG was thinking about going to LA and play with Kobe because KG lives in Malibu in the offseason. People tend to forget that. But because Kevin McHale wasn't about to help the rival, he decided to help his friend Danny Ainge out and trade him to Boston. Which is why it was crucial for the Lakers to be as good as they were, because I bet the league was trying to create the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rivalry with the Lakers and Celtics. That's why getting Pau Gasol was huge. Let me just check in the chat. KD's body wasn't going to last. Too skinny for his height. He went while he could, won, and still had a career-altering injury. It's true. KD went to a team that showed all his skills because he was the only one known for being a scorer. The system fit KD better than OKC. Well, Reggie Miller was a skinny guy, but the most deadly shooter of all time. He did a great decision. Why you leave a team who got to the conference finals to a team who never got to the final? You're always trying to do an upgrade, never a downgrade. Well, actually, the Thunder did make it to the finals in 2012. They were just a younger team back then. And KD was not the player in 20. He was getting buckets, but he was not the the more complete player he was then, like he is now. Well, at least at that point. My Thunder were one win away from competing for a championship. People want to control players' decisions than players controlling their own destiny, which is what LeBron. You see, this is why another thing that this is exposing this decision because they've gone back and said that LeBron is just another player when it comes to certain decisions being made in the front office. Well, I'm particularly talking about his second stint in Cleveland. But then they'll say that he's a super boss, and I'm like, which one is it? Is he a super boss or is he just a NBA player? He's not just an NBA player with the way the superstar that he is. Yeah, Chris Paul has tried to play with LeBron too because he's his banana boat buddy. Is Denver a small or a big market? Denver is actually a small market. CP3 has a bigger ego than LBJ. You can make the case. CP3 is as obsessive as LeBron is, though. He does have a big ego. It's true. Westbrook was athletic. If Westbrook and Harden retire with no rings, will their legacy be worse than Barkley, AI, Stockton, and Malone? It is going to be worse because they played with a lot of talent and they were not able to win. So it is going to be worse. It's going to be worse because then Kevin Durant was the only one who won out of that big three. Because look, they all have an MVP trophy, but Kevin Durant's got the rings and he's got the Finals MVPs to back himself up. Even if they want to say they come with an asterisk, Westbrook and Harden don't have a championship. And if neither one of them win a championship, then people are going to look at them and say, well, Westbrook and Harden were really the issues. It was not KD. It was not Chris Paul. It was them. That's what the media is going to start to say. Yeah, Paul Pierce did want to be traded. He also said that he wanted help too. Yeah, more so later in Reggie's career was he more injury prone. KD's been injury prone from the beginning of his career. KD, yeah, he kind of left at the right time. Yeah, OKC didn't have any spacing at all. That's why KD and Westbrook had to play hero ball all the time. That's like I said, that's a poor job by the front office, not really putting in the pieces to really help improve the spacing, and that's also coaching too. So it's a combination of both. Boston wanted to trade and never a three superstars who decided to team up. Yeah, because if you listen to Paul Pierce, he said that, once they got Ray, he's like, okay, I finally got some help. But once they got KG, now you're starting to think championship contenders, especially if you're looking at that Eastern Conference. So look at that. He was like, it wasn't Matt. So in the article, he was like, it wasn't. So Abbott, the person who did the interviews, he said it wasn't Maverick Carter's idea. It wasn't LeBron's idea. It wasn't even ESPN's idea. It wasn't Bill Simmons' idea. And it wasn't Jim Gray's idea. It was somebody else. So they're trying to make it a fan, somebody who I had never heard of, who ended up making a book on LeBron. He made a couple of books. It was pretty much his idea pitched for LeBron to have a 1 hour special, make a decision for a PR move so that LeBron could get many people watching. It helped. It helped the network. They had 13 million views for that segment. Or was it 10 million views, I believe? I don't remember, but I know it was a lot. Karan says, is it crazy all teams in the Thunder's Northwest Division are all small market teams? No, not really. Yeah, I heard. I'm actually going to talk about all of that tomorrow with NBA News. I'm going to talk about the Lakers and the Clippers schedule, and then once I do that, then I'm going to get to I'm going to do a preview of the games. I might get a panel for that. No, I should get a panel for that. What about Chris Paul? At least we all see Westbrook doesn't have the IQ of the game, so Chris Paul is not smart. So why hasn't he ever won a championship ring? Yeah, man. What's going to happen when this is going to continue? Listen, the lesser players, the better it is, for a certain somebody. Yeah, when LeBron went back, he got the respect because he didn't stay long. People kind of thought he probably wasn't going to come back until like the end of his career. I think he would have lost a lot of respect had he came back at that point because they would have probably known he's too old to compete, for a title. But right now, well, at least that would have been in the minds at that time. But right now, he's competing, and like I said, right now he's in win now mode. But I just think personally, yep, those OKCs that he played on, they had talent, but they didn't run a real system, and it's hard to win a chip that way. And Westbrook is talented, but he has low IQ. That's why KD left. That's why I said that I understand that you guys would have loved to seen it run again, but I was like, you weren't gonna win if you couldn't really play a real system. I mean, if you look at the way that LeBron and Kyrie had to play, Andrew Bogut, when he got injured, it allowed them to be able to attack the basket, and LeBron was able to play his LeBron system because there was no interior. There's no interior, so it makes it easier. Easier for the hairless wonder. Wow. Jay says Westbrook's being horrible is an understatement. His IQ, he means. And like I said, I like Russell Westbrook. Super dynamic talent. I appreciate him. You know, he could be great. His just my issue with him is just his IQ. That's pretty much it. Um, because he definitely could have improved. I just hope for Westbrook it's not too little, too late for him. Because if that becomes the case, then it's gonna hurt. But this could definitely be a huge loss. Definitely could be a huge loss. Again, guys, smash the like, hit that subscribe. And Westbrook is my favorite player. But at least the cool thing about you, Jay, is that you keep it real. You know. Ryan says, I'm putting an asterisk this season, regardless who wins. Less players playing against doesn't count as a good win for a chip. It's true. With all the players that are sitting out. Too late for him. Because sorry about that echo in the background. Black Tiger says LeBron's narcissistic personality reminds me of Nicki Minaj and Drake. Scream you the best, but you make excuses when you catch an L and don't want any one of your peers be at your level or surpass you. Interesting. Hmm. That's a big point. Damn. Wow. I mean, damn, that's crazy. Again, guys, continue to smash the like button and hit the subscribe button for your boy Lewis Sports Network. Continue to share this on the social media outlets. Appreciate that. And I just put my PayPal in the description box. You guys don't have to. It's not an obligation. But if you would like to donate, you definitely can. And you could also, if you don't have PayPal, but you have Cash App, you guys can see the Cash App right there on the screen. Again, it's not an obligation. Jay says James Harden has to be point guard more for Houston to have any success. Russ playing point guard in the open court is his game. That's when Harden can give it up and rest on the court. I'm very interested to see how the Rockets are going to play this. Um, can their conducive style really win a championship? I just don't know, especially because they're too small. So when they go up against bigger teams, is my concern. They can't expect to play small ball forever because teams are going to figure that out, especially big teams. That's why I don't know with the Lakers. I don't know if I can trust that. Oh yeah. But let me ask you guys a question. Do you think it's going to be another PR stunt by LeBron and company if, let's say, he doesn't win the NBA title. If he doesn't win the NBA title, because remember what he's doing right now, involved in social justice. He's speaking up for the players. He's getting these young players signed with Clutch Sports. And let's say he doesn't win the NBA title. Do you think that LeBron and his PR team are going to use that he's been dealing with so much that he wasn't really able to focus on the game? Let me know that in the comment section. Because remember, he's also been able to work out individually as well. And the thing is that people fail to understand this. They've talked about when LeBron has gone everywhere he's won, but they also don't talk about the fact that he's also gone everywhere and lost too. He lost his first year and his last year in Miami. He lost his first year back in Cleveland and then his last 2 years in Cleveland. And then last year, he didn't even make the playoffs with the Los Angeles Lakers. But that's going to get swept under the rug, and they're going to say when he wins a title, with the Lakers, that he's been able to win everywhere. That's true. Again, you take the good with the bad. LeBron has been able to win in Cleveland. He's been able to win in Miami. And if he wins with the Lakers with his championship, he'll be able to win a championship. But my thing is also, if people are saying that LeBron has been able to do all these things by himself and he's just the greatest and he's the reason, then my thing is, why have you had to team up with Anthony Davis? Why have you had to team up with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving? Why have you had to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh? So are you really the reason that you're winning these NBA championships? But then you have to go to another team to get them. And again, it's okay for LeBron to go to another team. It's within his right as a free agent, whether we want to complain to or not. Whether we complain or not, he's going to do what's best for him. But what I'm basically saying is we can't keep the goalpost just for some reason continues to get moved. And then I look at with this decision, this was to probably one up Michael because of the views he got at the Last Dance, the way he was able to influence a younger generation to see what he really was, because a lot of people never really seen what he was like as a player, because they only know him right now as the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. They didn't know about Jordan, the basketball player. They didn't know what drove him to be the person that he was, good and bad, right? Oh yeah, when he got traded, that was crazy. If James Harden could play off the ball, they could be very dangerous. I don't see that happening. CP3 isn't that player you take to take you to a championship. He's like your third to fifth option would be lethal. He's a champion being at least third option or fourth. I say third. I say third. He's not even a number two, which is crazy. The LeBron system is basically the 1-4 offense that they run in high school with the team's best player at the top of the ball and making all the plays. Yeah, they run a 1-4 set. I mean, Jordan always ran 1-4 sets before the triangle. He probably was going to try and get Finals MVP and try to dedicate it to let's be honest with that too. I hate to say this about Kobe, but it's crazy how LeBron has tried to be Kobe and now he's chasing Jordan. See, people have said that LeBron is already in the conversation for GOAT, but for some reason, LeBron has tried to be somebody and he's chasing somebody. Those two guys that I put right there in the thumbnail. He's tried to be somebody and he's chasing somebody right now. The LeBron system is basically everybody go stand in the corner and let me operate. Lewis, MJ, Scottie, and Dennis. Oh, I know that. I'm not saying MJ did it by himself. I'm just talking about when it comes to LeBron James and when it comes to some of his fans. LeBron's mindset is if I can't beat Jordan in basketball and wealth, at least I could beat him socially. And you even notice now, that Jordan is becoming more social now, something he wasn't doing before. Al-Karam, but that's my point. That's my point. The reason I'm saying that is because when it comes to that man right there on the Miami Heat side, they will have you think that it's because of him that he's won all three of his rings. And I'm saying that's not the case. Kobe couldn't have won a championship by himself, neither did Michael Jordan and neither LeBron James. But for some reason, he's been given the credit for his rings. I mean, I'm not saying Jordan hasn't either because he has two. And the thing is with Kobe, he has two finals MVPs, but some people feel that he only should have one because Pau Gasol outplayed Kobe. But when you look at the numbers, Kobe was actually pretty productive. So when you look at LeBron's decision, it's been a gift and a curse. Number one, player empowerment, which LeBron gets a lot of credit for, putting your own destiny into your own hands, not letting owners take control of your career. What's the curse? When you think that you're going to be the only one to benefit from that, and other teams are trying to do what you're doing, because what LeBron needs to understand is a lot of players that have come into the league during the 2010s, when you're talking about guys like Kawhi Leonard, guys like Paul George, you look at Kevin Durant when he came in the late 2000s as the number 2 draft pick, they're looking at how you benefited off of the move. They're looking at how you benefited. You went to the finals 4 straight times. And remember that LeBron played in the Eastern Conference. You won 2 championships. Some players have said that they never had the opportunities that he has, and that he was not able to do. They were not able to be able to beat him because he always had the better teams. And that's why I continue to say that despite the decision, LeBron was harshly criticized, and now he's become the hero, while Kevin Durant is now taking the blunt, and he's the villain now, especially with what he said about the media. James Harden needs to play off ball on 3Q. He needs to have the ball in his hands because Westbrook always picks the bad decisions. That means CP3 is not that elite. When Russ is on, maybe, but Russ has to hit that elbow extended jumper off the pick. That shot is something he doesn't shoot that much anymore. That's game 2. Yeah, Russ is starting to go back to his pull-up jump shot, but it's true. He used to come off a pick and then will shoot that elbow jumper. He's not doing that anymore. If he's shooting the jump shot, it's really more so now on post-ups and when he pulls up in transition. I've never been big on CP3 as Lewis. Nah, yeah, Jay has said it many times on many live streams. He's never been big on CP3. He just feels like he just chokes in the biggest moments. And I've said this about Chris Paul, that as well as he can play, he'll have a couple of disappearing acts. And also, for some reason, he gets injured in big games too. But the issue is LeBron puts himself out there by saying he's the GOAT, and recently says he played with bums in Cleveland, being top heavy. The reason why LeBron won in Miami, he played with a great coach. And if you notice with the Heat, LeBron played off the ball more, which was something I had never seen before. He actually was very uncomfortable playing off the ball. He was actually forced to play it, and they realized how uncomfortable he was playing that way, so they let him do his LeBron system. The issue is he went back to playing LeBron ball when he went back to Cleveland, because he didn't have to deal with he didn't have to deal with another player like Dwayne Wade. Because if there was another Dwayne Wade type in Cleveland, LeBron probably would be playing off the ball right now. No, Eric Spoelstra is good. Eric Spoelstra is good, but what helped Eric Spoelstra was having Pat Riley. I don't think if Pat Riley's not there, Eric Spoelstra would have been pushed around. So it helps that he had the support of Pat Riley. And the thing is, you can't question Pat. Pat's won with the best of them. He's won with Patrick, not a championship, but he made the Knicks a respectable franchise again in the mid 90s, in the early to mid 90s. You look at what he was able to do with the Heat, and then eventually won a championship in the mid 2000s with Dwayne Wade, 3rd year Dwayne Wade. And then obviously those great Laker teams he had with Magic Johnson, Kareem, and James Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, and them, to 4 championships. So Pat Riley was able to adjust his coaching style to his players. That's why, for me, I feel like Pat Riley is the greatest coach of all time, in my personal opinion, because he was able to win with stars, and then he was able to win with lesser talent, with good teams that were knocking on the door as championship contenders. His issue with the Miami Heat was that was just a mentally weak team. The Knicks may have been mentally weak, but at the very least, they got to the NBA Finals. But the Miami Heat, they were just a weak mental team for some reason. Oh, yeah, he definitely could be the dark horse. Shout out to Ultimate Champ. Wow, didn't know that. Wow. Jordan would never say he's the king before his first ever game in the NBA. When asked if he considered if he's the GOAT, he feels like it's disrespectful putting himself in front of the players he didn't play with. Listen, I believe he thinks that. Again, he's underrated. Lewis, did you see the James Harden Russ backdoor message? It's how they have to attack early on and consistently. Yeah, and that's why I feel that they're not going to be as consistent. Shout out to Daniel Barry. Appreciate you coming through, my man. Appreciate it. Again, we got 18 people watching. Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up. 19 people watching. Appreciate you guys. Come on. Let's continue to get the likes up. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Um, Greg Popovich is the best coach ever to me. I would say between Greg Popovich and Pat Riley for me. For me. Who in the East had a team? Because if you look at Popovich, he has spent his whole career with the San Antonio Spurs. Pat Riley was able to go to different teams and turn them into contenders. And then you look what he did with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh forming that team, and they went to four straight finals. Pat Riley is a winner. He's a winner. Who in the East had a team to beat the Cavs? Super team. PG 13? Nope. Jimmy Butler? No. LeBron always had the best team in the conference and three times the best team in the NBA. Shout out to Bronco Fanatic. Appreciate you coming through. Again, shout out to Daniel. You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. Always showing support. Appreciate you. That whole LeBron's been to nine straight finals is a great feat in itself. Is ridiculous. Dude is 3-6. So Daniel, shout out to Tyrann Matthews. Appreciate you in the building. Appreciate it. Tyronn Lue was an average coach in Cleveland. My issue with Tyronn Lue, he let LeBron push him around. Tyronn Lue started with black hair. He ended with gray hair. Miami had good teams coached by Riley, but they could never get over the hump to beat the Knicks. That Heat team was built to beat the Jordan's Bulls. They just couldn't beat the Knicks. Raduni says, I'm sure if that trade for Chris Paul would have happened, Miami would have lost to the Lakers. Yeah, because Kobe would have been still been playing at a high level, and CP3 would also be in his prime, and he would have gave Chalmers problems. LeBron's 2010's decision backfires him. KD and Kyrie need to face LeBron in the finals for revenge because how the LeBron media and fans discrediting their success all of these years. I feel like that the only way that Kyrie and KD are going to get validation is if it happens. If they end up going to the finals, and let's say that the league decides that we want to put Kyrie and KD to go up against LeBron and AD or something. If they do a Nets Lakers 2021 NBA Finals and they end up getting their revenge and all that, I think that that's probably what they would do, just to kind of come back on that. I think they would do it that way. That's just me personally. That's what I think. Um, Bronco Fanatic. He says we showing 19 on my side, but he says 20. And thanks for the congratulations on the 850. I truly appreciate that. Um, was good to Tara Matthews. Appreciate her so much. Huge Lakers fan, and she loved Kobe when he was alive. Hey, shout out to Giants Alliance for coming through. What is going on, man? And again, guys, if you have not subscribed, and I'm pretty sure some people are subscribed in here, but if you guys please go subscribe to the Giants Alliance. He's producing unbelievable content and is continuing to grow. He is an up and coming YouTuber. He's already at 200 and I believe 20 or 22 subscribers, somewhere around there. I want to help him grow. Let's continue to push him and subscribe to his channel. He's producing great content over there. So show him some love and subscribe to his channel. Really knows his football. He's a basketball fan and he also follows the Yankees. So make sure you go out and support him and subscribe to his channel. If you guys can, for me, I would truly appreciate that. And if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Giant Alliance. He produces great content and he really knows his stuff. Really knows his stuff. Tara Matthews, once again, appreciate you. KD will need the help that LeBron has always had to beat LeBron now. KD's Achilles. Mm. 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 Very interesting, right? Because if you look at the career, some people have said, well, Kevin Durant when it comes to his decision making, he's kind of like LeBron James in a way. Because I told you already, if you look at the decision making LeBron has done, other players in the league, you look at Kevin Durant, look what Kawhi Leonard just did. Excuse me, after being in a system with San Antonio and the move he pulled off to go to the Clippers. And then you look at Paul George, who has been trying to beat LeBron for a while, and now he feels like he's got the team to do it. That will all predicate on Lou Williams playing or not playing. So we will see. But you notice what LeBron is influenced. And if you listen to what Jay said, in order for KD to win, he would have to have the type of help that LeBron has had. And if you look at the help that KD had with Golden State to help him win 2 championships, because the floor spacing was so much better. And it helps to have the personnel and the coaching to help out. I don't think Chris Paul and Kobe would have worked out. I can see it from an ego perspective, and a part of me still thinks that even though Kobe has a younger player that's entering his prime in Chris Paul, and he's the point guard, Kobe probably would have still wanted the ball in his hands like so much. And I think they would have had Kobe do a lot of post-ups and still go one-on-one. I think that's why people kind of criticize Kobe and keep saying that he's this like team player from what people are saying. We talk about Westbrook's lack of basketball IQ. James Harden's basketball IQ is not that high neither. Well, there it is. There it is. There it is. Ron just said it right there. What would happen if the Lakers kept Odom in 2013 roster with D23, Kobe, Artest, and Nash? I've always wondered that. It would have to be the key is what would they be like if they were healthy? No Giants. Second option to win a championship with great D behind Melo. Did I miss a comment? No. Oh wait. Oh wait. He says that. Do you think Carmelo to win a title as the #1 guy if he had the right players around him? To be honest with you, as great of a player as Carmelo is, he's just an offensive player. To be honest, he's a solid rebounder, but he could have been a better rebounder in my personal opinion. When you look at Melo. They did struggle to put the right team around him, but the thing is, the issue with Melo is, and I love Melo, but the thing is, he's not your best player on a championship team. He's really your third option. Melo is really your third option, and I love Carmelo Anthony, but he's your third option. So if Melo plays with other great players, he can't be the #1 option. Because the thing is, what I didn't like about Melo's offense at times, it would get very stagnant with him, and he refused to play in a Melo his whole career. It's funny because Melo came from a system in Syracuse, and I think as a young player, he needed the structure early, and unfortunately, he didn't really get the structure for a long time. He had issues with some of his head coaches, and a lot of it had to do with Melo not defending. And so because he didn't defend consistently or put any effort on defense, they kind of got, criticized him. And they felt like he was a little bit of a locker room cancer. Like I said, I love Melo, but I don't think he's a #1. Yeah, he's not a #1. And yeah, it's gonna have to be great defense. Also, guys, make sure to shout out to Johnson Daily Sports. Make sure to go subscribe to his channel as well, if you guys haven't. Um, Chris Paul and Kobe are both ball dominant players. hmm That's another great point. That's why I feel like that might not. Yeah, guys producing great content. As the #1 guy, no, Melo did not show me anything in Denver or with the Knicks that makes me think anything different. Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, he would have been, but again, the ball dominance. Because Chris Paul really doesn't even play in the system, though. Oh, wait. After LeBron retires in the future, what player do you think will be the next money cow? There's a couple of people. I mean, I know the league is really waiting for Luka to become something. Giannis could possibly be the next cash cow. Those are two players right off the bat that I'm thinking about. It could be Zion, uh, depending on his development. So I think if Zion could develop pretty quickly into a superstar player, because you see how these networks prop up Zion so much, and they're trying to get him into the playoffs right now. Zion could be the next guy too. Let me just see. Okay, Tara, I agree with you. He has some good role players on the 2012 Knicks, and he only got to the second round. Actually, no. In 2012, they actually got knocked off in the first round to the Heat. They lost in 5 games. That was when the Linsanity experiment that actually kind of failed because Melo kind of got jealous of the success that Jeremy Lin was having and how the Knicks and what the Knicks were having actually without him. 2013, when they won 54 games, they should have went to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. They got upset by the Pacers, and with all due respect to the Pacers, the Knicks were more talented than them, which is why I found it so shocking that they lost to them. And the Knicks, they just did not defend well that entire series. And the Pacers, they struggled to score. And Paul George at the time, shout out to Brandon Rogers, appreciate you. Kobe put all that work in to get better each day. Kobe wouldn't have won with CP3 and Dwight more than once, and that one would need luck. Yep. And like I said, I love Kobe, but I'm keeping it real. You saw how Kobe and Dwight worked. So I think Kobe with Chris Paul, Kobe would have had to play with a pass first point guard, and Chris Paul he can pass, but he's ball dominant. Westbrook won't get the whole blame if the Rockets go out. Harden will get most of the blame since he has the high expectations. Westbrook is a two-way athletic specimen. Harden lacks effort. Harden's going to get more blame than Westbrook, but they're going to low-key blame him too. You know why? Because Westbrook has played with KD. He's played with James Harden twice, and he played with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. And without Kevin Durant, Westbrook has not been able to go past the first round. At least without Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant got to the second round. He just did not have that second start to take the pressure off of him when he got double teamed. And Tony Allen played some good defense, so we got to give him credit too. And the Thunder, I mean, not the Thunder, the Grizzlies, they double teamed KD and they built walls around him so he couldn't attack the basket. So he had to consistently try to shoot from the outside. Rather have Derek next to Kobe than CP3. Fish hits huge shots after huge shots. The thing about Derek Fisher is Derek Fisher understands his role and he could play the triangle without a problem. Well, obviously Phil's not going to be there, but at least Derek understands how to deliver the ball to Kobe. So that's why Derek Fisher was actually a better complement to Kobe. It's probably one of the reasons Kobe never really played with a top tier point guard is because if you look at Ron Harper, they put him at point guard and they put Fisher at point guard too. Both guys know how to run a team. They know how to deliver the ball in the right situations and give the ball to guys in their spots. Chris Paul is somebody who likes to utilize a lot of pick and roll. He loves to pass on the fast break, and he passes when he penetrates. To be honest with you, Chris Paul, in a way, is the system. If you look at why he averages assists, Chris Paul gets assists. Chris Paul is a great playmaker. Don't get me wrong. He's a great playmaker. But there's other things as hockey assists, too. He was so good at Q's. He was very athletic when he was younger, too. As a matter of fact, Giants Alliance, they were comparing him to Larry Bird with the way he played in the the way he played in the NCAA tournament when he was the tournament's most outstanding player. They were comparing him to Larry Bird. That's how well Melo played. In 2013, when the Knicks won 56 games, Melo was being an all-around player. He was being a team player. Then when the playoffs came, he went back to being Melo. That was my problem with Melo. He just never knew how to maintain it. There were moments that season where Melo looked like he was actually committing himself to the defensive end. But I also noticed in losses, Melo kind of focused more on himself than the team. So Melo, and the thing is, if you look at the leaders, Melo was never really a leader. The leaders of those Knicks of the 2013 team was Jason Kidd. You're looking at Pablo Prigioni. You had Rasheed Wallace. Like they had other guys on that team to talk. They had veterans, Kurt Thomas, Marcus Camby. You know. Right. Next dominant superstar maybe Luka Tatum because they always push him. LeBron is low key in the NBA if you know Marvel comics, right? Giannis is the next face of the league, in my opinion. Definitely could be Zion or John Morant too. Um, I definitely think Zion, and I definitely believe Giannis. I agree with you there. John Morant depends on how the league markets him. If they market him the right way, he could definitely be the face. And I feel like that the league has to do a better job of marketing their young stars. They're so focused on looking for the next Jordan that it's like they almost don't recognize the talent in the league. Even if they push Jordan, at least they were able to. They marketed Barkley really well. David Robinson. If you look at some of the players in the '90s, they marketed them actually fairly well. Well, Lewis Melo couldn't be a system like the Spurs, but he likes to be his own man earlier in his career. The thing is, when Melo knows that he has no choice but to listen, is when he's going to listen. But if he doesn't need a reason to listen, then Melo's not going to listen to you. That's the thing about Melo. That's been the biggest indictment on his career. Yeah, if you notice that, I'm actually going to do a video on that pretty soon. Giants Alliance. I don't know if oh yeah, you were on the stream last night with Cam Newton. And I appreciate you being there. I don't know if you've seen my Super Bowl 42 videos. I did my top 5 quarterbacks videos. So if you guys would like, make sure to go check those out. I'm actually going to put some of the links in the chat. Let me just go to my channel real quick. Again, make sure to hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're sharing this on your social media outlets, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Giants Alliance, I know that you are a big Knicks fan. And to everybody in the chat who has not done it yet, I'm going to put this in the chat. Check this out. This is my Patrick Ewing video. The link is up there somewhere. There it is. So make sure to hit the like button and let me know what your thoughts are on that. That was actually, no, that's the 99 Knicks. Sorry, I did that. So make sure you guys go check that out. And then also, if you guys would, make sure to like the video on Patrick Ewing. I'm going to share that as well. And I'm actually going to put that in the chat. There you go. So make sure you guys take a look at those 2 videos and make sure you guys hit the like button for those and let me know your comments on there. I think Kobe and LeBron. Oh, wait, I missed some. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because getting back to Brandon's comment, you're right. If you notice the Grizzlies, they had the 2nd worst schedule, but it's now the 6th best. So it's still difficult, but not as hard as it was before. Then if you look at the Kings, they had the 16th hardest schedule, but now they have the 5th hardest. And then if you look at the Pelicans, they actually had the 22nd best schedule, and it's still 22nd. So it just lets you know that they're really trying to push Zion to get into the playoffs. Yes, agree with you, Jay. I love D Fish, and I would want him next to Kobe rather than CP3. Melo hung on to LeBron. LeBron couldn't beat him way too long. Didn't help him in the long run. Yeah, that's another thing. Oh, no, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point. As a matter of fact, just take a look at last year when Kevin Durant injured his Achilles. Grizzlies always played the Thunder tough in the postseason. Absolutely. Big facts. Yeah, they had a defensive mentality, and you could say that was their identity. Which upset is the most shocking to you? The 04 Pistons beating the Lakers or Dallas beating Miami? I think it was really more so Dallas beating Miami just for this fact. I mean, you could say the Pistons beating the Lakers too because the Lakers were supposed to win that series easy, and the thing was, at least with the Dallas, they had one All-Star. But the thing is, when you look at Miami, never before had players created their own super teams in their prime. Dirk being the only All-Star on the Mavericks, and the Mavericks were a good team, so I'm not going to hate on the Mavericks like if they're some like scrub team. It's just they just talent-wise did not match up to the Miami Heat, which is why Miami should have won that series easy. That should have been probably a 5-game series. That should have been a 5-game series. That's how much better the Heat were. And the thing is, when you form a super team and you get to the finals as expected, but then I hear LeBron when he did the sit down with Steve Smith, I think back in the 2013 season, and he's telling him that he wasn't expected to. He was shocked that they got to the finals. That's a bunch of BS because you formed a super team with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. You made the Cleveland Cavaliers weaker. The Raptors were already weak, but they got even weaker because they didn't have Chris Bosh. And Chris Bosh gave you 24 and 10 and was a 5-time All-Star. Dwayne Wade was a 6-time All-Star. So when you look at all that, they won Olympic gold together. So of course, they had all these expectations. And again, when you say not one, not two, not three, not four, and you're making a party, you when you say all that, you're expected to win. I was rooting for that. But the Pistons beating the Lakers was a big shock too because there was no All-Star on that Detroit Pistons team in 2004, and they beat the Lakers handily in 5 games. But part of that had to deal with the fact that the Lakers they had a lot going on. I just felt like with the way things were going, I just don't think that they were going to win. It was definitely shocking, but when you really look back on that series, especially with the way they had faced so many distractions, I'm amazed they got that far. I'm amazed they got that far. Who was the second option? Chris Paul is overrated, at the same time underrated, meaning Chris was too consistent and he never had games in which he had to put the team on his back. I take the Miami versus Dallas, not because I'm a Laker fan, because the 0-4 loss was terrible, but I think Miami first because that was the first year of the big three. Ewing was my hero when I was a kid, the ultimate warrior. Nice. So that's why I put that video for you just to check it out because I know you're an avid Knicks fan. So I just put those in the chat for you guys to check out and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I put the video of the 99 Knicks, so make sure you guys check that out as well. Melo is a great scorer, but he's always lacked scope and self-awareness to be a winner. Yep. I don't think Chris Paul had any 40 or 50-point games. Uh, I think he's had a 40-point game. Well, do you mean in the playoffs or do you mean in the regular season? I think he's had a 40-point game in the regular season, never 50. Predictions for the Chiefs versus Bucks Super Bowl. You already going there? I mean, it's crazy how they had championship aspirations, but I thought they were going to lose to the Lakers. Then I thought the Young Thunder were going to get to them. That didn't happen. And then with the fact that they beat Miami the way they did, Dallas beating Miami, Carmelo didn't play and they had no depth. Nah, Melo only had one bad decision, leaving the Nuggets because he was great there. Giants says the Mavs had a bunch of role players around Dirk. It was a well-constructed team, but Miami should have won easy. Oh, that's right. Dirk works his butt off. Oh yeah, that was a great playoff run. So the Miami Heat killed two franchises with one shot. Mm-hmm. Two birds, one stone. Two birds, one stone. Dallas beating Miami was more shocking. I had the Pistons beating the Lakers anyway because the Lakers, that team was a mess, especially with that Colorado situation with Kobe. Plus, Detroit was setting defensive records that year too. Oh yeah, the Pistons had 4 All-Stars but no superstars though. But I'm just talking about 2004. 2004 in particular. That year they didn't have any. No, Ben Wallace was actually the only All-Star. Let me make that clear because Ben Wallace didn't make the 2004 All-Star team. So Ben Wallace was there. So let me not make that mistake. So yeah, but yeah, 04 Pistons only had one. The 06 Pistons had 4 All-Stars. The 06 team. But yeah, that was a team that really played well. That was a dominant defensive team for that 2004, a historic defense for the records they were setting that year. So yeah, Black Tiger, you're absolutely right. I mean, Black Tiger, you're right on the one All-Star, and Jay, you're right. They were setting defensive records that year. So yeah, guys, getting back onto the decision, this is why I feel personally that more than ever, this is gonna be huge for him. I just don't like the fact that he doesn't just say, "Hey, I made a decision that affected my career, and I have to live with that, but so be it." But then it's like when he lost, it was like he says he didn't care what people had to say. Remember what he said? He says you guys have to go back to your miserable lives and work your miserable jobs. I mean, y'all do remember that, right? Ryan says, has there been a player besides Dirk in the finals and playoffs that had a perfect foul shooting percentage? I actually can't think of one, to be honest. I mean, just look at what he did in Game One against the Thunder in the 2011 Western Conference Finals in the first game. The man had 48 points. He didn't take a single three-pointer, and he made all 24 of his free throws. All 24 of his free throws. Spurs were contending every single year in the 2000s and the 2010s. If you look at, you have 2003, 2005, 2007. You have obviously 2013 and 14. You could even say 2012 because they went to the Western Conference Finals that year in the lockout. In the lockout season, the year that the Heat won. Um, Black Tiger says, "Do you think the Knicks will be a powerhouse team in 10 years?" That's a long ways from now. It's going to depend on who the Knicks bring in. We obviously need a face of the franchise. We don't have a superstar. We need a superstar that's going to draw free agents, and we don't have that right now. So we have to really honestly build through our development, and we're going to have to build through the draft. And hopefully, if we can improve, that gets the league to notice us, then hopefully we could get some big time free agents that will make us a powerhouse team for years to come. But like I said, I feel like it's never going to start until James Dolan sells the team. He does that, we'll be back. He does that, and we get an owner that wants to win, that cares about his fan base, even though he makes money himself. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But the key thing is going to be if he wants to win. So that's why I think that it's important that we get somebody that's really about improving our franchise. We do that, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for our franchise again. It's true, and the crazy thing is that I've done Knicks games, I've done them, but it just breaks my heart every time I do one, knowing that we don't have a talent out there. I'm gonna support them no matter what, but it just sucks that we just lose games the way we do. Brooklyn right now is really the more structured, friendly franchise right now. They're the more well put together franchise right now. They're actually because they have Kevin Durant and they got Kyrie. They got the two Ks. They're going to be a contender for the next couple of years, depending on the health of KD and depending on how Kyrie plays next to KD. So they do have some questions. But if Kevin Durant is able to answer those questions and looks like the KD before he got injured, and I'm talking about 2019 KD, that I don't see why the Brooklyn Nets cannot become contenders in the Eastern Conference. So until James Dolan leaves our franchise, us Knicks ain't winning nothing. Nothing. And James Dolan sells the team. The Knicks to me is like the Detroit Lions of the NBA. Oh yeah. Do you think Spike Lee should have his own jersey in the Raptors in the arena? He should, with how much he commits which how much he's committed to our team. He deserves his jersey to get retired. And James Dolan owes life to that man for the fact that he's still a season ticket holder. With the way that Spike has had to deal with James Dolan's antics, his crappy nonsense. It's just unbelievable as a Knicks fan. I've seen Knicks fans put brown paper bags over their heads with how bad we've played over the years. So Spike Lee, they need to retire his jersey. I'm serious. They really need to put his jersey up there. I mean, with the way he's been treated, and he's been really patient. He's been really, really patient. For sure. Again, guys, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, keep hitting that like. Make sure you guys are sharing this on your social medias. So let me ask you this question. If LeBron, let's say, does not win the title and let's say he goes on to another team, let's say he goes to the Knicks, for example, and Karam says that it's totally embarrassing how the Knicks plays games. Oh, absolutely, bro. Do you think LeBron is going to regret ever creating a super team in the first place, knowing what it's done for the players today? If LeBron decides to go to another team, because I think what's going to happen is people are going to start to realize, in the media too, is they're going to say that LeBron is ring chasing. They're going to say that LeBron has never really tried to build a dynasty. They're going to say that LeBron actually really never stuck it out because, again, I know these fans get sensitive when people talk about him, but I'm telling you, if you think the media is your friend when they tell you all the stuff they say about LBJ, I'm telling you, wait till he doesn't win. They're going to pretend like he doesn't exist. They've been doing it with Kobe, and whenever they feel guilty, then they decide to play all these clips talking about remember Kobe Bryant. And I told you that the media is nothing but fake love. It's fake love, man. I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, which would he pick? Jersey in the Raptors or a statue? What do you guys think? Do you think Spike should be in the Raptors or should he get a statue? I think the man deserves a statue. So once again, give me 1 second, guys. Just talk amongst yourselves. I'll be here back in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Let me just check in the comments. Karan said, I'm glad I'm not a Knicks fan. Funny. Hey, shout out to Freddie G in the building. Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate it. Freddie says, later than a bug. Well, let's get to the Lou in the chat. Appreciate you, Freddie, as always. My brother. Jay says the Knicks are embarrassing, especially when New York has the best market and media coverage in the world. It's just sad how much they suck. Yeah, number one market media in all of America. And we suck ass, man. New York will destroy LeBron and will threaten him if he fails them. But to be honest, it's tough because I know they're gonna look at him as some kind of god, but then it's like if he don't do it, it's gonna be like, well, you got to understand that LeBron is what 30 something years old that he can't expect to. LeBron had two chances to come to NY. He said no both times. But like I said, that's because due to James Dolan. You could say he's the Dan Gilbert of the Knicks. Freddie Gee says they shouldn't be playing basketball. I know, but it's gonna happen, no matter what. It's gonna happen. But really, if you think about it, every team who's trying to win are ring chasing. Yeah, that's really true. That's true. That's really true. Every team right now is trying to ring chase. The NBA is worried about its money. That's why they want it back. And once again, give me a sec. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue in the chat. Basketball is not a necessity or vital. True. Freddie Gee. All right, no doubt. Only y'all, OMG, y'all imagine if he went to the Knicks and got a statue before Spike. Oh man, whoo. Maybe Spike wouldn't care. I think he'll trade it off if he gets his jersey retired. If he doesn't get that or a statue, and LeBron gets a statue before he does, yo, that'd be crazy. Chilling. Lou, it breaks your heart. I've been a Knicks fan since the '69. Oh no, no, you've been longer than me because I grew up with the Knicks in the late '90s, going to now. I mean, it still breaks my heart because I'm a Knicks fan, man. So it sucks that we've been irrelevant for so long, but it goes even longer than that. So I agree with you, Ron. Since the '69 '70s, I thought the way the Knicks teams of the early '70s should have been the culture, the blueprint. Yep. Black Tiger says he's going to head out. Appreciate you. Take care, Black Tiger. Thank you for coming to the stream. And make sure that you're sharing this on your social media if you do have it. And always appreciate you, bro. Thank you for stopping on by. Appreciate that. Black Tiger, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate that, brother. Um, yeah, so they shouldn't be playing, but I just found out. I don't know if you guys have found out. I know DeAndre got tested for the virus, and he is not going to play, ladies and gentlemen. He is not playing. So he opted out. So that's another player that they just lost. So the Nets have lost Wilson Chandler, DeAndre Jordan. They're possibly going to lose Spencer Dinwiddie. The Wizards only lost Bertans. So the Nets are actually a much more depleted team. They possibly might be out of the playoffs. I think the Magic end up taking their spot, and then the Wizards have an even better opportunity to get into that final 8 spot. And because the Brooklyn Nets also have a tough schedule when they come back. The last time the Knicks won a championship, Phil was a player on the team. Can you believe that? Who was the guy of KG's friend who passed when he was on the Timberwolves? Yeah, that was Malik Sealy. He's from the Bronx. We got a painting. We got graffiti of him in the BX, man. Malik Sealy. That was KG's best friend right there, Malik Sealy. Those guys are real close. Oh, I see. Now that I think about it, it's possible. It could be Spraywell. And also remember that the Wizards need to get within 3 games also to be able to have a play-in tournament. Because if they were to do that, they could fight for that 8th and final playoff spot. Or the Magic could slip up to 7th, and then the Nets would have to play the Wizards, for that playoff spot. Shout out to Tyree in the building. Appreciate you, man. Hope everything is good with you. Appreciate you coming on through. You guys are all the GOATs for showing up to this stream. So like I said before, I just wonder what's going to happen. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think from LeBron's decision that he made back in 2010, and you've seen guys like Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard take advantage of this, who's the next player do you think that would take advantage of the decision in the 2020s? Like, what person do you see if they had the power in their hands to be able to control their destiny and go to wherever they want? What player do you think will kind of resemble a mafia boss and pretty much control his destinations on what team he wants to play for and not be contrived to an owner? Let me know in the comment section. And again, shout out to Tyree. Make sure to continue to smash the like and continue to hit the subscribe button for the Lua Sports Network. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, before hopefully some more comments pop up, at the end of the day, Kobe and Jordan, as I've said many times before, have something. Huh, Jay says, Lewis, just pray that Giannis goes to the Knicks. I would love that. I just don't see it happening. But I do have to pray if my dreams were to come true. John Morant, I think a player like AD and John Morant. Okay. Yeah, John Morant comes to me off as a guy who looks like he understands himself on what he wants to do, with his career. So Ja definitely, it will depend on this year. To me, it'll depend on this year. This year's going to tell me if AD's his own man or is he a follower. That's what's going to tell me. Because he followed LeBron to LA, so I'm trying to see what this year does. So this will be interesting. So going back to what I was saying, like I said before, LeBron was slick enough to take Kobe's words at the time that Kobe announced his rights to go to the NBA when he came out of high school. And then LeBron, 7 years after playing in Cleveland, decided to take his talents to South Beach. LeBron had tried to beat Kobe, but he knew he couldn't beat Kobe. Ryan says he doesn't think Zion is that type of player. Okay. But he tried to do that. Now, he has said that he has idolized MJ. He wanted to do everything like MJ, right? He wears the 23. He's doing Space Jam like MJ, Space Jam 2. Remember that he's trying to become the social justice warrior. He's trying to get involved himself in everything. And also remember that he's trying to instill himself as the greatest Laker ever if he wins one championship. And they're saying that LeBron is never going to remember because this is all for Kobe Bryant, according to LeBron and according to the network. This is all for Kobe. And I'm telling you, that's completely blasphemous. AD going to Chicago or the Knicks with CP3. Oh, I just don't want CP3 with that contract and his age. AD I'll take because he's 27 years old. CP3 I don't want. I just can't see it. Nope, I'm not buying that at all. I want Giannis to go to the Knicks because I want the Knicks to be relevant again. For real, I appreciate that, but I just don't see it. I see Ben Simmons or the process. Okay, that's a good one. Shout out to the Lonely One. It's been a minute, Lonely One. Good to see you back. Hopefully everything is good with you. Again, guys, hit that like button and the subscribe button. Lonely One says, salute, just came in. I'm looking at an article. Apparently the decision was a fan's idea. I'm not buying it at all. I already read an article on it, and I also saw the decision, the documentary. I already saw it. This all to me is just LeBron playing the victim. That's it. LeBron's playing the victim as to try to say. And the thing is, this happened 10 years ago. This happened 10 years ago. And because, remember, the decision was so big, he's trying to make it bigger than The Last Dance that just aired for a 10-part series documentary. You know, the one that's on Netflix and the network. And Tyrese says no one ever talks about the MJ and LeBron dynamic. To me, he's even more of an MJ son than Kobe. Because I know Kobe has worn the Jordan jersey and stuff like that, but if you look at what LeBron does, he's worn both Kobe and Jordan jerseys. And I told you he's tried to be Kobe the villain for 1 year when he went to Miami. And then on top of that, you look at what he wears from the moment he got into the league. He wore 23. Who wears that number? MJ. Remember, he took Bill Russell, he wore Bill Russell's number 6 when he went down. And remember that he said that Jordan's jersey should be retired around the league. Well, what did he do when he went back to Cleveland? He put back the 23 after he was number 6 with the Miami Heat. He went back and he wore number 6. So when he went back, he decided to wear number 23. And I said, I thought you said that that jersey should be retired. So that just tells me that low key, he was starting to take jabs at MJ with that. Giannis is not carrying a team to the championship unless he has 2 other All-Stars on the same team at the same year. I agree. If whoever plays wins Knicks title, would that overpower LeBron's chip win for Cleveland? I don't know. I don't know. You know what? It might have, just because that the Knicks have not won in 46 years, and the Knicks are the #1 market in the NBA. New York. There's nothing like New York media. So you do this in New York media, you haven't won in 46 years. Yeah, I know that LeBron has done. I know LeBron helped Cleveland win their first title in their 52-year history, and the Knicks have been a longer franchise than Cleveland, but still, they haven't won in 46 years. And you think of the players that have played there. So yeah, you do this in New York, you love forever. Yeah, I'm doing all right. All right, appreciate that. That's what's up. Glad you're doing well. Glad you are doing well, lowly one. Shout out to Ryan. Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm actually going to stop the stream. I'm coming back tomorrow with more content. I'm coming out with the Lakers, Clippers, and a little bit of an NBA preview. When we look at the matchups, I might have a little bit of a panel just to see what we think about this. Um, so I want to stop the stream. I want to thank everybody for coming through. I definitely appreciate that. And you guys have been a wonderful audience. Again, another cool stream. And before I go, let me just check on Tyree real quick. He says, LBJ has even admitted to walking, talking, and acting like MJ on national TV. I also wearing his jersey and shoes before his own and the same movie. Think about that. Raduni says we need 20 more years before we win another title. As long as James Dolan there, I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. All right, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys again would like to donate to the channel, there is my Cash App and there's also my PayPal that I'm going to put in the chat. Again, you don't have to, but you know, if you would like to, I appreciate it. It's not it's not obligated. But once again, thank you guys for another one. We chat together, we stream together, family for life, as Ryan always says. You guys continue to hold it down in the chat. Thank you guys for always sharing the videos. Thank you for coming in, liking the videos. Thank you for always sharing them, letting other people know about the channel. Continue to spread the LSN movement for my LSN mod squad. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Have a good day. Be grateful. That's right. We got to be grateful. Thank the Lord upstairs. G Money says the decision in 2010 was unnecessary. To put it out in public, yes. For him, if he wanted to decide to go to Miami, that's fine. I just think that the public decision was just a PR stunt. But the thing is, for you to go 10 years to all of a sudden now say that it wasn't his original idea, to me is bogus, because him and Wade talked about playing together. And even if it wasn't on the Heat, it was probably going to be on another team. So that's why I said that it just makes no sense that all of a sudden it's now not his idea. That to me is complete nonsense. All right, guys. So from the Lewis Sports Network, take care. Appreciate you guys as always. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching. We will be back talking Lakers, Clippers preview, and we will be talking about the NBA's NBA news, considering all the all the players that are going to sit, that are going to play, and we're going to preview the schedule, tomorrow. So take care, everybody. Everything is publicity. Everything is publication for LBJ. Great player, top 10 all-time great in my book, but the decision was just to get back at MJ because of all the views he got for The Last Dance and the younger generation swooning in his way. And then trying to be like Kobe too. Um, it's kind of like I feel like LeBron to me in a sense tries to use both guys. That's why I said that you kind of have to start to wonder, does he really respect them? I mean, he's shown mutual respect in moments, but it's like, do you kind of really, if you kind of always using them as a publicity stunt because of they have a cult of personality and fan base that you are craving when you have 50 million followers on Instagram? Yes. But anyway, bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the stream. Have a wonderful